Yo, what's up, guys? Pepperbelly here, and what is this? What is this? What is this game I am playing? This atrocity that's impairing and infiltrating my channel of FPS shooters. FPS shooters. That made no sense. FP shooters. There you go. That's the correct way of saying it. Well, I want to tell you what this is. This is World of Tanks, boys, and this is a fantastic game. This replaced my cocaine addiction, by the way. And I've been playing this like non-stop ever since I downloaded it. Well, I mean, I did take a few breaks because, you know, it's the human thing to do. But other than that, I was still playing this game like it was the hottest woman I ever wanted to bang in my life. And it's a free-to-play game, actually. I only heard about this after watching a Game Trailers review that came out of nowhere. You know, Game Trailers usually reviews like top-tier games, but all of a sudden they were like, hey, World of Tanks. I was like, that sounds pretty interesting. Let me watch this. Watched it. Heard it's free-to-play. You don't have to buy it at all. And I was just like exhilarated, and I wanted to play this game, and it was really, really fun. It was like, holy shit! I got so many good tanks now. Like, this is filmed maybe 2 days ago, and I just recorded it. I was saving it for today. You know, for a good day, I can actually like commentate it. And you know, me and this guy behind me now, we're flanking left, which is you know, one of the things a lot of people tend not to do, or they will do. All the smarter guys will do that. And basically, the only way you're going to want to do this is if you have a fast engine. Now, you can upgrade your tanks. So, I mean, over time, you can research it. You gain experience per tank. So, if you have, let's see, a crew that is specialized in your tank, their knowledge will go up. So, usually, you can start off at 50%, and then it'll keep going up over and over and over again. Then they may be qualified to drive other tanks, but it will reset. So, if you have a crew that's specialized in this one right here, which is the PzKpfw 35, and has a 37mm cannon, and they're specialized in this. Now, I have a new tank called, it's the same thing, but instead of it being a 35, it's a 38, and has a tier 3 tank. And if these guys, they're qualified to drive it, but if I were to put them in it, their knowledge in it, like their skill level, which is 61, which is, I think it's 64% in this tank, would be 50 in that other tank, because they have no experience with it. You have to regain it. So you might as well just get a new crew to go in your tank. So, you know, it doesn't make a difference. You don't have to save up your skill and try to transfer them to another tank, because it's going to start over anyway. Might as well just get a whole entire new crew for that tank. So what we're doing here is we're flanking left because we have powerful engines. My tank right now is currently set up to the maximum that you can possibly have it. I have this thing tricked out, like upgraded to the max. So I'm actually this tank acquired elite status. So if you train enough in a specific tank, you can get elite status, which means you have everything unlocked for it. You know everything about it. It's done. And that's what I have right now. And we're about to engage the first guy right here. Me and Buddy on my right. And I'm going to get the kill, I believe. And so you can see I slow down, wait for my crosshairs to get accuracy, take the shot. And usually there's a lot of realism in this, for the sake that if a tank is really sloped, it can actually just bounce off. Now, that happens a lot. I mean, I always have like, oh, it penetrated right through and did no damage because the round just went clean through the tank. Or, oh, that didn't even dent them, and like shit like that. It's really annoying. That's why a lot of people like to get bigger guns on their tanks before they get, you know, upgrade the engine and suspension and tracks and all that. I would highly recommend, though, which worked for me, don't worry about the gun until like the last minute. The gun is probably unless you can afford it right away, don't get it. Simply because it's not as important as having a better engine. You want to be able to get out of a rough spot pretty quickly, because I mean, there's a lot of moments where you'll get stuck in a situation where you're going to be overwhelmed. It's happened to me plenty of times, and you want to get out of that situation quickly. Now, if you have a really slow tank, I mean, all the terrain's changed. You might have a maximum speed on your tank of 50 kilometers an hour. Your tank doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go 50 kilometers an hour. That just means that's the top speed it can go. It probably won't do that. Like, this tank can go to 40, 45 kilometers an hour. I think it's at 38 right now. I can't really see the text, but, you know, it's not going to get to that speed at all. Especially when you're going uphill, it slows down majorly. So when you're, like, going really, really slow, I mean, when you have a beginner tank and you're going up a hill at, like, 5 to 10 kilometers an hour, man, you can run faster than that shit. And a tank is firing at you from like pretty long distance, an upgraded tank, you're fucking screwed. There's nothing you can do to beat that tank. So, you know, you better hope for the best for that. But always upgrade your engine. That's the number one thing I upgrade. First thing I deal with is that engine. Then I work on my gun. But usually I'll get my suspension first because it's cheaper. So I'll get the engine and the suspension, and then that gives me better traverse speed, which is how quickly the tank can turn around and orient itself. And then the engine obviously gives it more horsepower, so it can travel faster. And there's a whole other deal of stuff you can get. There's like turret changes you can get, which like sometimes increases the turret traverse speed, sometimes it increases the damage, or usually it increases the damage because it has a better velocity. Even though it's firing the exact same round, sometimes it'll actually have better velocity, therefore has better penetration, better damage. All that stuff applies, and I don't know, this game is really addicting. It's a fun multiplayer game. And you get into a match, you have a lot of people that gotta blow up, and you know, in this specific match, I get 3 kills. Now, that may not seem like a lot, but that is. I mean, I've seen the highest kill count I've ever seen one person have was 6. And I managed to get that just yesterday, which was, like, phenomenal. I had 4% durability left on my tank as well, which was, like, I literally shit my pants. It was so awesome. I killed 2 guys with 4% durability just out of sheer luck. Not skill, just the fact that I was able to damage the guy correctly. So, putting a scenario in your head. I was driving on Himmelsdorf, I think that's the name of the map. I go around the building, there's a guy in a little tiny courtyard. So I start firing at him. And thankfully my durability was the only thing that was damaged, not my tracks, nothing else. So my treads and everything were good. So I fire the round off at him. It hits him, but it bounces off. So he turns around, he fires the shot at me. It hits my turret, severely damages my turret. Now, my turret turns slower and it reloads slower. So, I mean, the already, like, long time it takes to reload takes even longer. So I'm sitting there panicking, right? I'm shaking, I'm sweating, my heart stops, I'm holding my breath, I'm looking down my turret, I take the shot, it bounces off again. And I'm sitting there like, no, I'm definitely dead now. I'm going to die. And then he fired his shot, and it miraculously missed. And I was like, yes, this is my chance. Fired right underneath the turret gun on his tank, and it fucking blew him up. And I was like, yes! And it was so satisfying. This game gets intense like that at some moments, but, you know, 6 kills in one match, I was ecstatic about that. I made quite a bit of dough on that to buy other tanks and stuff and upgrades. It was pretty nice. But anyway, now that it's black screen, I always seem to always have shit to talk about before, you know, the video is done, but whatever. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please rate the video, comment the video, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. So yeah, be sure to let me know if you guys actually want to see more of this gameplay, because I mean, World of Tanks is a fantastic game. If you want to see more, be sure to post it in the comments. Take care, guys.